want to talk about these coordinators that we currently have now. Both of these coaches, I said coaches. Man, what was I?
Yeah, this one's your topic.
Yeah, this is one I'm excited about because with both of these coaches, at some point during the season, they've come under fire in terms of, do we keep them? Do we fire them the next day? Or should we bring them back next year? A lot of mixed reviews as well with both of these guys because both of their situations are similar yet slightly different. But the question I wanted to ask to you and to, the chat.
I'll write it in.
Is if we get an inspired performance, right?
Okay.
We go on one of those, the offense looks different. The defense looks different. And we can tangibly point to it and say, hey, man, this is schematics. This is coaching right here. This is not personal. This is coaching right here. If we get an uptick from them postseason wise, whether it's just this game or if it took 2 games, would that change our perspective on their job security in terms of, would it make you want to have Matt Canada come back next year? Would it make you want to have Keith Butler come back next year as well?
Wow.
Because, that's been the
if we go
thing,
on a
right?
run, obviously.
Now, why is it obviously, though?
Because that's multiple games of success, especially in big-time moments, too, playoffs.
And you would count
but you brought up one game.
The 3 to 4 games. So it would have to be what, to AFC Championship or Super Bowl for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the question is one game. Like,
right.
What if we play awesome this game and we just get unlucky or something?
Right.
That's probably...
Like the offense looks great, defense looks great, and it's like, man, Mahomes hit us on something at the end.
Something fluky.
And it's like, you know what? Day.
Made a shitty pass interference.
Right. Like, whatever. Like, and that's how it ends. But it's like, yo, we could definitively see and say, yo, they look different.
Who's more on the hot seat? I would say it's
Canada.
Canada for sure. Because Butler, he's been around for a while. We've gone through the ups and downs with him.
But people, obviously the run defense and how that has been this season.
You got me intrigued, though, bringing up Tomlin being the DC last game and cooking up some new stuff.
Okay. And
you really got me intrigued.
Real,
like, why hasn't this been going on the whole time?
But that is a real thing, and that is why I bring it up, because I'm like, that could potentially change some stuff. Like what we saw last week, does that make Keith Butler a little bit more, hey, man, we don't need you as much? If Canada in this offense looks inspired, looks different. We're seeing some of these things that people are talking about in the chat, the 15 to 20 yard, the middle of the field stuff, taking shots downfield. Would that sway you? Would that change you? Or would it have to be more than one?
One of the big problems is, are we bringing any big time name defensive coordinators or offensive coordinators? Because
because obviously we want to know.
Like, what if we brought in like Todd Bowles or something, or we brought in Flores? I do think Flores should get a head coaching job, but for some reason, if he doesn't get one, if we got Flores, like that should be like a no brainer. I think.
Okay.
But if we go on a run, then forget about Flores. Let's just run it back because, it'd be big time if we go on a run and things are looking different. You got to give credit for that, because
that's the part for me where I keep going back and forth. I said I don't feel like one game can sway me, but I do feel like if you were to go to the AFC Championship game and it's looking like that, I'm almost content. If you go AFC Championship game, that I would be willing to say, hey, bring it back for another year. Let me see if this coordinator is as real as I think it is right now. Super Bowl, I think that locks it in. But they
might even get some head coaching opportunities or something.
But that's my thing. I do feel like it would need to be multiple games. I don't think it could just be one. Like for me, I'm not comfortable just, oh man, they did it one time, and it looked good. It was a postseason, and then they still, because I'm thinking about the 17 regular season games as well.
It is an interesting question. Man, I don't know.
Now in the chat, when I'm looking in the chat,
I think it all depends on the run. And we just mentioned that. It all depends on the run or not. One game, I just don't really have any expectations going into this offseason for the coordinator, defensive coordinator.
Right.
If that makes sense. It's not really crossing my mind. Like, I'm just almost expecting we're bringing both of them back. That's the thing.
Ooh, so you see, I guess like as I sit here today, I do think Butler comes back or retires because obviously he's getting a little bit older now. But with Canada, I don't think it's a surefire thing that he returns. I like, not in the sense of, hey, we're firing you, but in the sense of, we just didn't renew your contract. Like, I do think that that's kind of up in the air right now, just because.
Is he a 1-year deal?
Well, in the sense of like, if I remember correctly, let me see. Either way, it's 1 year max, right?
Might have been either 2, way. But
nothing more than
probably
2.
Easily get out of it. Yeah. It's not going to cost you that much.
So with that though, I do feel like for him, he's definitely on the hot seat, and part of it has been on him. Part of it has been on the personnel that's on the field. But that's the part where I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Does that change it? You know, the chat, when I'm looking in the chat, man, I feel like it's mixed reviews. I feel like defensively, people are a little bit, you know, they're chiller on Butler in terms of firing him or not. They're kind of cool with that. I know they like the Bowles, Todd Bowles recommendation.
Someone's bringing up Zimmer. Russell Schwartz says in his super chat, there has been some really good coaches fired that I tried being in as a coordinator. Flores is one. I take Zimmer too.
Okay.
Fangio getting released by Broncos.
Absolutely.
So there's some good coordinator guys.
Yeah, there's definitely some guys out there, man.
Are you ready to let go of both? If it was your choice?
If it was my choice, I would probably let go of the OC, keep the DC.
Oh, you're ready to move on from Canada?
I mean, from what I've seen for 17 weeks, yes, because remember I said some of the stuff I thought was personnel related. Some of the stuff I still think is schematics related. And because I can't point to another situation where he's had success at this level, it makes me feel less confident that he can survive and excel at this level. It's a difference between success at the NFL level versus success collegially. Nick Saban, prime example, one of the best college coaches you will ever see. But at the NFL level, it's not the same. I forgot the cat that was in Atlanta. What was it? Which Patino was that one? The one that had left. You remember talking about? He was there. Coach a little bit was like, "Yo, I'm a holler at y'all."
With the press conference.
Yeah. It's just different, man. Like,
Bobby Petrino.
It's harder to win in the NFL, man. It's a lot more variables and stuff like that. And part of me, as I sit here today, I have those questions about Canada, whereas I don't have those same questions about Keith Butler because, number one, I've sat in those rooms with him. I have an intimate understanding of his knowledge. And now I've also seen a body of work of him as a coordinator where he's had success, where he's had some top defenses out there, where we've seen him have Pro Bowls and all pros and look like they develop under him as well. I just can't point to that necessarily with this offense right now. And that's the biggest reason why, for me, I'm not as confident in terms of me wanting to bring him back. But it could change, though. Like I said, if this team looks different postseason, this team looks more motivated postseason, get out of here with a dub. Like I said, somehow it would have to be more than 1 week, though. For me, it would have to be more than 1 week.
Okay. What's the case for Canada? The case for Canada is if Ben retires, he gets a chance at like a new quarterback.
Yes.
That's his case. But
that's definitely his case.
Let's say we go on a run, Ben wants to come back. Like, you got to get rid of Canada.
Get rid of him because now you can see it's going to be an issue. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But actually, though, if we go on a run,
but if you go on a run, you got to keep him.
Oh, Canada and Ben kind of meshed.
Yeah, so
that would be weird. That would actually be the weirdest scenario.
Because you have to wait those postseason games more than this 17-game body of work that we know what it looked like at times. So,
well,
it's interesting, bro.
It's interesting you brought it up, for sure. Like I said, it wasn't completely on my radar, but you're right in that there's a temperature going on with how we feel about our coordinators. And I think more people are way more apt to get rid of Canada right now.
Yeah.
Butler, I don't know. People kind of want Butler gone too. But maybe it's just not as pressing because you're right. We've seen actually some good defenses here and there. But we've also seen spurts for certain games throughout seasons of, man, what the hell is this defense doing? We've seen it this season. I don't think we can put it all on the coordinator, though, or the coaching on some of this, because we've talked about effort on certain guys on front seven, defensive line, linebackers, in terms of why we were so bad with our rush defense.
And I just think it's a difference, too, when you watch Keith Butler's defense. It doesn't feel like a college defense. Whereas when you watch Matt Canada at times, the offense feels college-like. It feels real sideline to sideline.
These jet sweeps are working, though. I'll tell you what.
Well, it's situationally, right?
I can't believe it.
It's situationally. They've improved. They've definitely improved. But once again, that's a college-style thing in terms of you can't hang your hat on it, right? It's not something that you could dial up and a guy that, hey, man, we got this. Jet sweep, man, we got this. Like, That's the difference with the concepts and stuff like that. And for me, I just haven't seen enough from him just yet to make me feel like, you know what, yeah, he can excel at this level to at least win a Super Bowl. That's what I'm referring to.